Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Andia Pibdani, and I'm an environmental science student. I work with multiple organizations that help young girls to pursue their interest in STEM fields, which stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. Now, if I were to ask what gender of child would be interested in science, robotics, building, or mathematics, what would you initially think of? A boy, right? Most likely, and that's okay. But why don't we think a girl would be interested in these fields? From a very young age, we have the stereotypes that girls are only really interested in dolls and dress up rather than anything related to math or science. And it's been pretty much that way since the beginning of time. But we know that's not true. Throughout history, we have examples of women who have done great things in the fields of science, engineering, mathematics, and whose names have become just as recognizable as their male counterparts during that time. Even here at UCSD, where there's a higher ratio of women to men, I'm sure we all know a woman who is studying STEM fields. Looking at the UC system as a whole, females only make up 37% of the students in STEM fields. Let's look at the bigger picture. Now, the underrepresentation of women in the workforce isn't exactly shocking, but in STEM fields, as of 2014, women only make up 28% of the workforce in these fields. That's right, only 28%. But why? It's because of stereotypes like these. We think we've moved past them, but we haven't. Somewhere in the backs of our mind, there's still this mentality that girls can't compete in fields that are typically dominated by men, and that's holding us back. It is an ongoing problem that needs to be fixed, but it isn't something that we can simply accomplish overnight. We spent decades trying to get it to that 28%, but we shouldn't be taking this kind of time anymore. We should be focusing on helping that number rise. So where do we start with this change? According to other scientists, making strides while girls are in elementary school and middle school is the most effective route. It seems rather young, but these formative years are really important for the development of girls in STEM fields. The reason being that girls develop early on in life that there are some areas of interest that are strictly reserved for men, and that's for boys, which we have gender stereotypes from the time we were little to thank for. But if we think about it, the first time a girl bakes cookies, she's causing a chemical reaction. Using eggs, flour, and milk, and other items, she creates something completely new. We should instead be looking at these types of problems with a scientific approach and acknowledge it as a tasty form of science instead of chalking it up to a feminine pastime. By looking at problems from this perspective, we're already doing more for girls by encouraging them to think from different points of view and to not accept things as they are dictated to them, but to interpret them in a way that can help them gain a deeper understanding of the world around them. In the more recent years, society has become more aware of this and has strived to remind women that they are just as capable as men when it comes to being successful in STEM fields. Through various social media campaigns, public service announcements, and advertisements, groups have been forming and trying to help in this regard and spread more awareness while developing programs that encourage girls to get out there and do science. But at the same time, some of these groups' efforts have been scrutinized, with people saying that some of their plans are a bit hypocritical, with them simplifying the subject matter and making everything pink with its own line of dolls. But that's not to say their hearts aren't in the right place. The point is that they're reaching out. The efforts that are being made shouldn't just be by women as some kind of for girls, by girls campaign, as inspiring as that is, but should come from everyone everywhere. For the men in the room, think about your sisters, your loved ones, or any future daughters or girls that you might know. Wouldn't you want them to pursue their passions? Wouldn't you want to encourage them that they can accomplish anything? Or would you rather deprive them of the opportunities that the world has to offer? All women need is encouragement from an early age that they can go out and be successful in these fields. Let them build and destroy Lego towers. Tell them to shoot for the moon and build a rocket to take them to the stars. Give them that and innovation will thrive, and who knows what the results could be. And perhaps we can finally stop associating one gender with certain interests and instead view something like this, where a child's interest can be vast and something that society can be proud of instead of society that works like this.
Who's my pretty girl? Sammy, sweetie, don't get your dress dirty.
Sam, honey, you don't want to mess with that. Let's put him down.
Samantha, this project has gotten out of control.
Hey, careful with that. Why don't you hand that to your brother?
Our words can have a huge impact. Isn't it time we told her she's pretty brilliant, too?